listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. Where were you guys? Come on. We're back in the New York groove. Glad you guys could be here tonight. I almost wasn't. You know, I set the alarm, right? It woke up at 6. Felt great. Fell back to sleep. Anyway, here we are. Thank you very much for hanging out tonight. We're going to have you guys come on in a little bit. Still no proof after all this. After all the congressional hearings. After hearing time after time after time, we got aliens in our possession, and we have UFOs that crash landed UFOs with alien bodies. We've got him, but it's all hearsay. But I'm a smart guy. I know things, but it's hearsay. It doesn't matter. Fravor and Graves, they saw something. Talk to them. We did. Years ago. Anyway, I want to know if you guys are frustrated. What needs to be changed? What needs to be advancing the system? We need to be advancing disclosure if that's what this is all about. And you know, the one thing that bothers me is the lack of evidence. The first congressional hearing in over 52 years, they showed us a dot, a 1/8 of a second dot. It says Brooklyn. Brookers. I wasn't going to wear this shirt tonight, but it's so soft and it's just really comfortable. The way it lays on my lady's shoulders, it just feels great. All right. I also want to talk to you guys about the things that we were talking about this week. The alien invasion in Peru. You won't believe what people are saying. People are now adding facts to the story. Yes. Adding facts to the story. Matter of fact, let me show you this. Adding facts. All right, here's an adding a fact. This is what adding a fact looks like. Ready? Oh, yeah, I can see it. Wow, really big. Man, those are big heads. Well, it's reported here that it says they're 7 foot tall aliens. Oh, you know what? The size of that head, I know it's got to be around 6-7 feet because the head is big. It's got a bulbous head. Oh, wait, what? I put the needle back. I said, what the fuck did I just miss? Yeah, because the size of the head should determine the height of the thing. It's about 7. I figured it's about 7 feet tall, the guy says. From shaky flashlight footage. You know, the flashlight. You know how the hoaxers, they never put the flashlight on the thing. They're always moving it around so you can never really get a good look at it. It's what we have here. Then the next guy says, you know, those are grays. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Well, unless they have teeth, but I don't think grays have teeth. No, they don't. That's right. They're liquid consumers. What? Have they not seen the movie Paul? They have teeth. So now people are adding in facts to the stories. It's got teeth on it. Yeah, teeth, lots of teeth. No teeth. Forget no teeth. Big bulbous head, 7 foot tall. If the head was any bigger, the guy says, it would have to be taller. Oy vey, I said. Oh my God. We have gotten to the stupid zone. The world is a vampire. The world is a vampire. All right, here it is. I'm going to play this. This is so funny to me. I don't know where it is, but these guys have no idea what they're talking about. We've played this before. They're actually good. Timothy Alberino. High strangeness in Peru, he calls. I don't know where I'm at here, but check this out. This is just, hey, you'll be coming on the show when I put the link in. The link isn't in yet. I'm doing my thing. I'm talking. No roll call tonight. All right. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the show. There you go. I'm late. What's that? That was rude? I'm sorry. Was that rude of me not to give an individual hello to the 92 people that have actually stuck around? Was that rude? Tough.
Peru was also hoax. They did some visual effects and they added in this creature, right? They edited in the creature. I don't know. I highly doubt it based on the footage. I highly doubt it. But it's a possibility, sure. But what's the chances that they're going to get the exact same creature, same stature, and the one in Vegas?
They're talking about comparing the aliens to the ones in Vegas. Let me go back a little bit. I'm a little further than I need to be here.
And I was going to ask you, just off the record, what do you think about these tall grays? Because most of the time we hear them, they're small. And I know that Phil Schneider supposedly battles some of these tall ones. We've seen the tall ones depicted in a lot of movies. What's the difference between the tall grays and the short grays? Just nothing, or?
Well, the tall grays are 7 feet tall. The short ones are 3 to 4 feet tall. Now, are these tall grays? Are these insectolins? Because there is Dr. David Jacobs, UFO, an abduction researcher, makes a differentiation between the small grays and these entities he calls insectolins on board the UFOs that abductees encounter during abduction episodes. And insectolins are described as being 6.5, 7 foot tall. And they look very much like the grays, but their heads are they have more of a distinct, exotic insect-like appearance. That's why sometimes people refer to them as mantis beings, because they kind of look like a praying mantis in the face. And I would say that is what these entities look like in this video. And let's now draw an interesting correlation to 3 events. And this is what I did in the video with Doug. I see 3 events here that are connected in my mind. We have obviously this incident in Peru with the Iquitu tribe, in the village of San Antonio. We have the Vegas incident that occurred the last night of May this year. And then we have the story that Phil Schneider tells about his altercation with these very same entities as he was employed on the construction of a deep underground military base at Dulce and Los Alamos National Laboratory, which is famously known as the Dulce Wars, by the way. This sort of kicked off the Dulce Wars, this incident that Schneider talks about. So you have 3 incidents that are seemingly disparate, disconnected, but what unites these incidents is the description of the beings. Now, I want you to understand that whenever somebody encounters something terrifying, something so outside of the realm of normalcy, there's going to be confabulation when they describe entities. If you encounter something briefly, you see something that's beyond the scope of what's normal for you, and then you try and recall the encounter afterwards, your mind will confabulate details that you think should be there, but maybe we're not. And what I mean by that is, I believe that the entities that were encountered in the Vegas incident, which I'm leaning towards that being real, by the way. I don't know, I can't be 100% sure, but I lean in the direction that was an authentic encounter with non-human entities. The description of those entities was that they were very tall. I think they were confabulating 10 feet tall. I think the entities were in fact 7, and I have a reason for believing that. They were about 7 feet tall. And I think that they were gray aliens, large gray aliens. And again, I have a reason for believing that. And I believe that especially that, I don't remember his name, that particular young man who's been most vocal about the encounter, he described initially a large mouth, seeing a mouth on this creature. I think he confabulated that. And the reason why I think he confabulated that particular detail is because I believe we have a picture of the being that was captured. I'm pretty sure we discussed this on your show, that was captured in the footage from that news agency. Remember, the local news agency came to do a report at the property shortly after the incident in Las Vegas. And we've all seen this video. They're interviewing this family, the members of this family who've had this encounter, and then they're walking to the backyard. And as they're walking to the backyard, they cut the footage. But before they cut the footage, people have taken that footage and blown it up. And in the backyard, you can see, it's not like grass, it's gravel, and it looks like they work on cars or something back there, and there's a forklift. The members of this family who had the encounter, they specifically said that the beings were hiding behind the forklift. And so when they walked into the backyard, again, somebody took a still out of video before they cut the footage, and they blew it up, and lo and behold, I can see clear as day in the footage, a tall gray. And I'm telling you, it looks precisely like the one that it was captured on video in the Amazon. It's the same thing. Let's call it a species. It's the same species and it's the same size. What I saw, I made a determination based on the size of the head in the forklift that this being was not 10 foot tall, rather it was more like 7 foot tall with a very large head. And I think the immense bulbous head with these large almond eyes, the head is oversized on these creatures. On the small grays and on the tall grays, the head is oversized. It's not proportional to the body. So I think when people see the large ones, they confabulate a stature that is actually not accurate. In other words, they see this large head that looks like it should belong on a 10-foot tall creature, when in reality, it's a 7-foot tall creature, because that's what I saw in the video. It looks like it's 7 foot tall.
Still is huge. Still 7 foot tall.
Which is huge.
Big fellow.
With a massive head, disproportional to the body. That would be more proportional in a 10 foot tall being. I don't know if I'm explaining this in a clear manner, but what I want to stress is that it's the exact same thing I'm looking at in the jungle of Peru, terrorizing this village. Same thing. These are the same creatures. Now you can make the case that the video in Vegas was hoaxed and that the video in Peru was also hoaxed. They did some visual effects and they added in this creature, right? They
All right. You heard what he said. Let's go back.
Small grays and on the tall grays, 10 foot tall, rather it was more like 7, was captured on video in the Amazon. It's the same thing. Let's call it a species.
First of all, and I'm going to bring you guys in here within 5 minutes. Don't worry. First of all, the video evidence is so bad and piss poor. How is this guy making a determination on piss poor bloody footage?
The same species and it's the same size.
It's the same species and the same size. This is what's going on out there.
What I saw, I made a determination based on the size of the head in the forklift that this being was not 10 foot tall, rather it was more like 7 foot tall with a very large head. And
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I think the immense bulbous head with these large almond eyes, the head is oversized on these creatures. On the small grays and on the tall grays, the head is oversized. It's not proportional to the body. So I think when people see the large ones, they confabulate a stature that is actually not accurate. In other words, they see this large head that looks like it should belong on a 10-foot tall creature, when in reality, it's a 7-foot tall creature.
If you've never seen a 10-foot tall alien before, how do you know what its head size is supposed to be, you dildo? Oh my God. That is so weak and so bad. Anybody watching that, including myself, lost a hell of a lot of brain cells. And usually I like the guy, but this time he's been reaching, and it is badly I mean, these guys are just sitting there, that's he's the smart one. He would know. I'm not going to say anything. You going to say anything? And the other guy, look at this guy in the top left-hand corner. He looks scared. Jeremy Corbell wannabe. And the other guy can't say anything because he's not as smart. He knows he's not as smart as this guy down here. He thinks he's the shit. This guy, I've seen him make some smirks about some things he said, but why he doesn't say anything and interrupt and say, where you get your information from? Cracker Jack's box? Nobody says that.
Sure, because that's what I saw in the video. It looks
I'm determining that because that's what I saw in the video. Oh, I'm an expert. What a schmuck.
Like it's 7 foot tall.
Still is huge. Still 7 foot tall.
Which is huge.
Big fellow.
With a massive head, disproportional to the body.
So I guess Shaquille O'Neal needs to go see a doctor. His head's too small. I mean, how stupid are we? I don't know, man. It's just the life we're living in. I also want to talk to you guys about anything you want. Anything. Except, anything unrelated to ufology. All right. So I'm going to drop the link into the chat room. Oh boy, this is going to be good. I put a poll up. Hold on. Let's unpin that message. When do you think undeniable evidence will be shown to the public? The next hearing, 10% so far. In 6 months, 13%. In a year, 7% of you. And then 18 months or longer, 70%. And that's based on, well, it went from 89 votes to 88, back up to 89. There's 90. So don't forget to vote. 89 again, 90. So I'll let that go until about 45 more minutes. If I remember, I always forget. All right. Join the show with this link. Here we go. Is that good? You have to have a shirt on. You don't have to wear pants if I can't see you. I just pinned it. So I'll put the running banner at the bottom of the show. There you go. Now we're ready, Freddie. Now, what about... You want to talk about Hawaii? We can talk about Hawaii. I've got the shirt on already. We've got ice cream shots. Hey, man, welcome to the show.
Oh, man, you pulled me right in, huh?
I'm not waiting.
No. What's up, man? How you feeling, by the way, first and foremost?
I actually feel great. It's the best I've felt since I was born, so that's good.
Yeah, you got all the color back, you know?
I do?
Yeah, well, from that one show, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know?
I haven't looked at that show yet. I'll go back someday.
No, that what's that guy's name? Timothy
Alberino?
Is he going to be at the hearings? No. Oh man, that sucks. He'd probably make a lot of money with that story, huh?
Oh, he's like a little Jeremy Corbell, that guy with his creativity.
Yeah, he's a little late to the scene though, right? I mean, James Fox and Corbell, they're kind of sucking up all the air when it comes to that kind of stuff,
I found out, I said it last night, that Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are privy to skiffs. Hey, Hollywood, a.k.a. Hard Luck, I think you have us on in the background. I can hear the reverbing, so you're going to have to fix that.
And you're like, Art Bell, turn your radio down.
Well, he can't come on the show with that like that. I don't know how he's going to hear it, So he's got a headset on. I don't know why that was going on, but
no, I hear
all right. Thank you, Hollywood, for taking care of that in the time being. But what would you say?
No, I was just simply saying, him and James Fox and Corbell kind of sucking up all the air out of the room for anything like that, for anybody new, that's going to try to tell stories like that. I mean, the guy, if you listen to him talk, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really like to get into too much with certain people like this, but say too much. Corbell and Lou and these guys are on different levels than I think a lot of these other people are. So I don't like to, punch it at some of the regular kind of YouTubers that are out there. But, there's just not really a whole lot of room for more people like that, because he seems like a smart guy, and it seems like he's smart enough with the way he talks that he probably knows that's bullshit what he's saying.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
And his buddy above, you said, why doesn't he say anything? Because he's probably getting a little he ain't gonna say nothing. What's he gonna do?
That's not a good guy. Then you gotta say it.
Yeah, you do, but you know how it goes, Rich. People won't.
Oh, I know. And some people like to watch you fall on your face, too, while you make up these things. So you never know what someone's thinking.
Yeah, he's got a lot of subs, doesn't he? What was he at? I couldn't see. It was a lot.
Yeah, 189,000.
God.
Wow, I didn't know it was that much.
For that many, I got an alien in my backyard. I'll go get the camera,
You're right, right? I mean, you might as well say anything. People will believe you. I don't know, man. That bothers me. I don't know what kind of show that is. It's just his name on there.
I've never heard of him before. I've never seen anything about him, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are coming around with it now at this point.
Yeah,
what do you think about the PTSD stuff with Grusch? I mean, I watched your show, but have you had time to digest it? Do you change your mind on any of it so far?
No, not at all. I think I stick to what I said. I don't think it was leaked. Okay, a lot of people don't. But those who want to make it about that will find a way to make it about that, because they would love it if Grusch got attacked in a way. I think they like, because it makes him more credible that way. It's like, why are they going after this guy if he's a second-hand whistleblower? You know, it doesn't make sense. But it was from an incident report where he lost his temper, said, why don't you just kill me, to his wife and the policeman. Then they took him to a mental health facility, for lack of a better term. And, the rest is history. And it was in a police report, which happens to be FOIA requested by somebody he knew, Kenneth Kepperstein or something like that.
Oh, they did know each other?
I don't know. That somebody said that to me, and I couldn't find any connection. Yeah. I couldn't, but I was hoping maybe somebody might know something. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it kind of that'd be surprising to me, because it sounded like the author of the article. What was his name? Kenneth, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he was looking around in that area in Virginia. Somebody told him or something, gave him a hint to look around in that area. I agree with you. I don't think it was really like leaked in that sense. I mean, if it's foiable, it's foiable. It's out there. You know, what are you going to do when it comes to that? But no, I think I don't think the PTSD stuff really hurts his credibility for me. I mean, when I look at the report and what it said, you know, he had a couple of drinks, got upset, you know, said some things. I mean, if that's the case for incredibility, well, then you got to be single your whole life to be credible, because every married couple's had their moments of having a couple beers and saying something you probably shouldn't have at the time. It's kind of hard to throw somebody out over something that's that prevalent. Not that it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, you know, the next day, you know, what are you going to do? People say, I mean, who hasn't had a drink and said something they didn't mean? Come on. Are we all going to be hypocrites, or do we want to try to get somewhere, you know?
I've said things I haven't mean, and I don't drink. You know, it's true. 100% right. And they're trying to figure out a way to make this guy less credible. To me, I already think he's just a hearsay guy. He heard stories from Jay Stratton and everybody else with an imagination, including Corbell, Knapp, and a host of others. So he got his information from people who want to believe there's a secret space program and that there's aliens being hidden from us. I mean, he's heard the same stories we've been hearing for a decade. And he's been like, holy shit, I got to tell somebody about this. And they're using him. It's embarrassing. Bob.
Yo, what's up, Richie?
How you doing, Chief? Welcome to the
I'm good.
little show here.
I just read a comment from David Wilcox, one of my good friends. They're creating the illusions of him being attacked to balls his credibility.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
Of course, that's what it turned into. Originally, I think that guy probably thought it would maybe have some sort of...
Okay, I had a question for David. Define me who is they creating, because I feel mostly like I want David, I want to believe, so I want David Grusch be part, of the good guys. So that's why they're testing him. They try to take him down. Now he's like he's a drug addict. He's a alcoholic. He goes by night. He drinks blood. He's a pedophile. He's not Christian. Everything will come at the same place. So I want to define me who is they, because I feel like he's a good guy. So yeah.
You think David Grusch is a good guy?
I think he's a good guy. Of course, he is handled by like this guy protecting him, the lawyer and everything. But I mean, this guy is with us. If he was not with us, they would not attack him that much.
No. I think Grusch is a good guy. I'll be honest with you. He looks like it. Something about his eyes.
Yeah, so that's interesting. but because I've been thinking about what David Wilcock said. Maybe it's like a hack. We're all so used to have like the psyop and everything that maybe they're boosting him, like making it look bad for. So I want to know who would be behind that thing. Like, who are they would be doing that?
So you think that whoever this Cooperstein or whatever guy was told to do what he did?
Have you said that?
That guy who did the FOIA request and found the information about Grusch, Kipperstein. Yeah. So you think that was all planned? Like they figured that was already out there?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Even Ross Coulthard, he said this guy.
It would have to be.
Yeah, it has to be. This guy.
How else did they know? They knew he got arrested, and in their mind, they're like, "Oh, there's got to be a record of that somewhere."
Yeah, but that's when I record. I go back with the David Wilcox there. I mean, it seems so obvious that this guy would have come up on the scene, said, "Okay, look, I did a special church on David Grusch, and this is so bad. He did that, and that wife said that, and this." I mean, it's so obvious this guy would have come up. So that's where maybe David Wilcock making sense. Maybe there is an act. So it's like I'm in the situation, Richie, that there is, I want to believe, but there truly is like a big 50-50. I'm in the middle.
It's like Spy versus Spy for Cracked Magazine, man. You get the
exactly, man.
Spy and white spy all the time trying to attack each other.
You nailed it, dude. You nailed it, Hollywood.
Hey, Hollywood, good that everything's working again. So I know you got something on your mind or you wouldn't be here. So what originally brought you in? What's on your mind?
I just wanted to hear some other ideas that were going around and stuff. I listened to a little bit of Greer today and stuff, and he was going on about, what was it, the amnesty program and stuff.
Yeah.
How long is that for? 180 days or what is it? A year and a half?
I don't know. It's not.
I got to look that up. I don't know what happened there with that. But he was saying he wanted to give them amnesty. And they
I think they give them
protection.
Something like 2 or 3 months.
He was going to give them the whole ballpark, man. They can keep their money, man, not go to jail, All they had to do was just spill the beans, and they walk away with everything they got, their pensions, their pay, their security clearances.
Yeah, but you'll be harassed, and your family will all of a sudden their brakes will go out on their car when you're in it, and all sorts of weird things would start happening. That's what scares me about being a whistleblower. It's like you're taking a huge risk. I know people are calling that David Grusch a hero, and they're heroes, and in a way they kind of are. But
Richie, would you like to be a whistleblower?
No.
Now after this guy? Jesus
no.
Christ, man. All your medical record, man.
You walk around with a target on your back.
Always a target. You never know who's going to come after you. I see.
If there was proof, if I had evidence, I'd be a whistleblower. If I just had a story, I mean, it'd probably be pointless.
Sacred Teachings, thanks for hanging out, man. What do you mean? If you were to come out with a story, it would be pointless, or where are you going with that?
Right. If I had no evidence at all, if I just said, then that's kind of silly. But if you had evidence and you could actually show that evidence, then I wouldn't see a problem with coming out as being a whistleblower. I don't think Grusch is a whistleblower at all. He's said nothing that we haven't heard at all. I don't know why he keeps being called a whistleblower.
I kind of agree with Hollywood right now, because there was this guy. I sent the link to Amy. It was this guy who said the same thing exactly from that David Grusch said. He saw those craft. He died like from a cancer 3 years ago. His name was Bob something, I think.
Yeah, we've been hearing people say what David Grusch has been saying since the fucking 70s, since the 70s, the 80s. It's just, I feel like, I don't know, the whole thing's been bothering me. I've been believing in the whole UFO thing, and ever since I was a child, I was so dead set on, yes, this is real. Aliens came here, it's being covered up, and now that I'm older, I feel like I'm headed towards it actually just being secret technology, and there's actually just nothing. It's all a bunch of lies. Everyone.
Wait.
Well, I think it's got to come from somewhere, though, right?
What do you mean?
Well, I think the way I view that is I've heard sacred people talk about that, thinking it's when you look at all these other stories that it's just completely our own tech. For me, what makes that tough to believe, man, is that at that point in time, for me to believe it, you'd have to tell me that we have a circle of physicists that we've had since at least the 30s. And they're the only ones that were under our control, lock and key, that were able to figure out anti-grav. And ever since even then, not only have we kept it secret, but no one else in the world has even been close to competency to even get close to figuring out how to do it. So at that point in time, a lot of people say we're 40 or 50 years ahead in technology. For me to believe that we figured it out, then you're saying we're hundreds, if not thousands of years ahead in technology in the world then at that point. And for me, the odds of being thousands of years ahead, I just think the odds are better that somebody else has got here or someone else has been here and we've copied some homework, man, than we figured out and no one else has.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. That's the thing. Like, that's one thing too. Like, I don't take that off the table that this is.
Oh, okay.
Aliens did. Yeah, I don't completely take that off the table that aliens did crash, and left secret technology, or maybe it's in some type of archaeological dig. I don't throw those out. I'm just leaning more towards that it just being secret technology. And I don't say 1,000. I'll say maybe 100+ years.
Okay.
In like a bunker somewhere.
Do you think we ever see anyone anymore or any of these other civilizations if that's what's going on? Do you, like, what are the odds of, or what do you think, like 1 in 10 sightings are extraterrestrial or interdimensional and, you know, the other 9 are us, things like that?
Yeah, it's like winning the Mega Million, like a person. It's like something like that. Like, yeah, most of it's probably drones and satellites, but yeah, I'm sure that 1% someone actually is seeing something, but it's just we can't ever prove it. There's no data. When the sighting is happening, no one's there to actually record it. It's just some person who's seeing something. They're in the heat of the moment. You can't really prove it. It's just really silly. And I don't know. Have you seen the New York Post? The guy from the New York Post with the skinwalker and everything like that. Have you seen that?
No, is it a new one, or are you just talking about the 2017 stuff?
Oh man, nah. It's probably from a month ago, man. And he's just.
Oh no.
It's because of him. Like, I feel like I'm being swayed towards this being bullshit because the way the guys at the Skinwalker Ranch are acting, they don't want to give up evidence. They don't want to sign up for scientific peer review. They just want to keep making documentaries, movies, TV shows, and just kind of doing it just kind of really just working on the entertainment aspect instead of actually trying to prove something. Same thing with the ghost guys. The ghost guys that have show after show, but when you guys going to actually take your evidence for scientific peer review? You guys just going to keep making shows and bunnies and book. Like, it's just so disingenuous the entire community and movement that I'm just slowly realizing, and I feel kind of a little bamboozled. But I just want to hope that there is extraterrestrials, but I'm starting to think that it's really just our secret technology that we really don't want to reveal. And it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Why would you want to show your trump card to the world? If you have that technology.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sacred, 100%. I mean, I think the mass majority of what we see now is us. I think the Tic Tac is us. I think all of those programs like that are us, 100%. I still agree. I think there's that 1% where you get lucky and see that. But another good point you make is, you know, it looks like so much of entertainment is kind of taking this over. Well, look at what James Fox just said earlier this week when he had an interview, and he was saying that even if I put out the Varginha, Brazil evidence, even if it was real, they would just debunk it anyway and we'd move on. I think that's the philosophy that people like Corbell and Fox are taking now. They're just saying, who cares? We'll just put a grainy video in. If it's real or not, we'll just make the cash and we'll move on.
Yep.
And kind of what you were mentioning earlier, Rich, about the alien kid from Vegas. I mean, of course, he's kind of went silent. He's supposedly got a Netflix deal. And Netflix, what are they going to care? They'll just stick a grainy video in there and make the money and move on. And it rolls and rolls and rolls.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about the Benjamins at this point. You know, yeah. Go ahead.
Richie.
Go ahead, Sacred. Yeah, Bob.
I was going to say that's what bothers me because, you know, I'm genuinely into this topic, and I've been into this ever since I was a child. Like, seriously, spending hours and hours and hours just researching, literally being obsessed with this topic. And now it's just like why who are these clowns? Who are they? These clowns coming out of nowhere, just these random guys, and they're just always just trying to show evidence that's just laughable. And it's so, you know what I mean? It's just,
And they're the ones that are, yeah, and they're the ones that are front and center, getting all the attention when everything they show us is bullshit. So when did it turn south for you? Because it did for me. I haven't watched an ancient alien episode since I was in the hospital, and I forced myself to. But it was a decade.
Very recently, in the coming months, just researching.
Why?
Finding out who these guys are, just finding out who these guys are, and just listening to interviews. I listened to the interviews in their entirety. Just really looking into who these guys are, listening to them, and that's when I was just like, you know what? And I actually, for the first time, I gave these skeptics a chance. I would never give Neil deGrasse Tyson a chance in the past. I would never give him a chance. I would never give a person like Mick West a chance. But I actually started listening, hearing these guys out. I'm older now. You know, I'm not a kid anymore. So it's like I have more common sense now. It's just like, it just seems fraudulent, you know?
And if it feels that way, it most likely is. Your gut instinct is probably right. But you were dragged into it because of all the hype, right? You believed what they were saying. And that's the general public. I mean, that's the general public. People who don't follow this stuff, we're the 1%ers of ufology. You know, there's not a lot of us. You may think there is, but think about it. Maybe how many of us do you think that seriously get into this? 1,000 people? 2,000? Let's say it's 10,000 people. That's nothing. And we're all spread out all over the world. We can't all get together and march on, in Washington and say, we want the truth,
Maybe that's what we need to do.
It is. 100%.
Get a sit-in.
A sit-in, a shutdown, anything that'll get the attention of the mainstream media. What the public thinks.
Yep.
Not what the military.
Shebang bigger than Roswell. Bigger than Area 51.
It's so tough to educate the public, though, because when they hear about the hearings, they hear about Grusch. Everybody seems to be talking about that. I do hear a lot more people speak about Grusch, but when you hear about them saying, he's got these problems and they're out to get him, they're putting disinformation on him and stuff. Those are the stories where we find out that's not true, that it was foiable material. That stories never get there. And then they just say, see, they're using him, or they're trying to put him away and silence him. And it's like, no, man, you need to take 5 more minutes and look at the rest of the story. But you can't get it to them. They're making dinner and they're helping their kids and they're moving on.
It is that way. Greg just joined us. Hold on, Greg. I want to say thanks because a big super chat came in from Brett S. Now, he makes a good point. Now, that's a $50 one, man. That's really generous. Thank you, Brett S. Seriously. He says, with bank runs and small coin shops ordering and selling 150K to 200K in gold and silver a day, the false flag alien invasion is coming. Food shortages. Look at all the foreign countries going to gold-backed money. It is. It's getting crazy. I know. I can't believe all the commercials for gold and silver I'm seeing. When I was in the hospital, that's all I saw. There's crazy.
All kinds of gloom and doom channels on YouTube now. A ton of gloom and doom. Bank runs are coming. Walmart's out of food.
But right, I mean, there's a sign of things that are coming. I believe, towards the end of this year, there's going to be some major catastrophe, like a natural event that's going to really.
Was all those hurricanes in China, man. It demolished their crops, man. They ain't gonna have no food come this fall. And then you got Ukraine and Russia duking it out, man. There's going to be a lot of hungry people coming up. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, whatever is happening, it's building up, and it's building, and it's building, and something's going to give. So, I don't know if Brett's on the...
Then you got the false spots that are coming out again, man. They're saying they're supposed to get worse here in the future, near future.
But a false flag alien invasion, man, they could have already started the idea with Peru and Vegas, right?
You'd get spies out and be looking for convoys and stuff for them going to the dumbs and stuff where they're going to set up shop and stuff while we roast out here. You ever think of that? You ever see those videos about all the coffins that had stacked up down in Georgia or someplace? They had a field of coffins stacked up in body bags, just warehouses full of them.
Somebody's got to make them,
scary
bro.
looking, like they were getting ready for a big disaster. This was years
Nah.
ago. though.
Yeah, I remember them saying something that Walmart was involved with holding on to coffins in their warehouses and stuff like that. It was weird. But, I wasn't there. It just, those are people taking videos of like the trains going by with all the military stuff. I mean, military sells their old stuff and then they got to transport it somewhere. That's all that. It was a transport of military stuff that was going up for auction and people buy it from all over. Buy military shit. Other countries buy it, to use in their wars and
or they
protection.
can use that for an excuse. That's their excuse for moving it. It's for storage, long-term storage.
True.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
100%.
They could be doing something else though, and just tell you. It's always another story, never a straight answer.
And the equipment wasn't damaged. It didn't look like it was bombed or dirty. It was all clean and shiny, like it was going somewhere to be used. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. But that's been happening for years, 3 to 5 years, right? So we should be at the precipice of all that now. And if you know what Greer said said something, if nothing happens by the end of this year, I'm done. Something's going to happen.
Rick, you saw the movie, you finally saw the movie Oppenheimer?
No, I didn't. I got sick and then I never entered my mind.
Okay, well, that movie is about a secret.
I'll watch it tonight. All right, that movie is about a secret society of people that gathered together and created the most fantastic weapon ever created, the nuclear thing. Yeah,
I believe that we are there now. There's a new secret society of kind of people that are aware about a new kind of secret, supermassive kind of weapon or a new kind of technology. I believe, and I'm 100% that's exactly where we are now. And that's why people are freaking out, because maybe that technology, those weapons, if you talk about, you bring a technology, a new kind of technology, that is one step, and it is going to be linked to a new kind of weapon linked to that technology. And then that technology might scare those people who were trying to protect those ancient technology. I mean, we're going there. So that's going to be a big, massive crisis. We're talking about a secret concerning with a new kind of weapon. That would need
scalar weapons.
Yeah.
Those scalar weapons that work beyond nuclear.
Yeah, something beyond that. We're not. I mean, nuclear was probably nothing compared to what they're hiding right now.
I think Greer even said that we attacked them with that scalar weapon or something. He showed a video of a UFO going over the face of the Earth, and you see this beam come up right behind it. It misses it, but it looks like they were shooting at a UFO in space.
Well, you talking about that where it goes like this, they shoot at and changes direction?
Yeah, yep.
Well, it's ice crystals, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, it just looked really strange to me.
Yeah, it looks great, but if you were going to shoot a weapon like that, wouldn't you make sure you hit the object instead of it going many million miles away from? Not million,
with our education system today, it doesn't surprise me, man. They don't teach any good math anymore and stuff. They got no great thinkers. It's all been done,
Greg, you've been sitting patiently. I almost forgot about you there because you usually jump in when you're introduced. But how you doing, man?
Yeah, speaking about weird science, did you hear about the Fermilab, who just started to discover a fifth force of nature? Like they call it, a muon, and it has effect of different forces of nature. Yeah, it's
what?
Crazy. Yeah, they're actually coming closer and closer to actually getting a hold and understanding it better. Yeah, they've been working on it for a real long time now, and they're really close.
How do you spell that?
Muon, MUON, and Fermilab, FERMI lab.
Wow.
So just to throw that out there.
What is it doing?
Well, supposedly, I think it's supposed to be the 27% of the universe is dark matter. They're going to try to link that perturbance in the muon vibrational orbit of the cell of the atom and stuff. They're trying to link that to some other dimensional thing, aren't they?
Are they?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was asking. Are they, Greg?
Oh no! What they're trying to do is basically the other four forces of nature. What are they? Gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear forces. So basically, those are like the four fundamentals of nature. So they're basically discovering a fifth one that can just totally change.
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. We're going there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
So
That's what they can say. That's what they can say, because it's gonna not only change everything. That's the first step, change everything, but it's gonna engage other world leaders, like to get naked and tell what they have. And I believe that there have something about those leaders that need to talk with themselves. Honestly,
Yeah, we need to hear from the United Nations or something, man. You've got to get somebody official on this, man. You got to get together some leaders really big time or something, man. This is going to break the bank, man. But they don't get prepared for it.
I mean, United Nations been in. Sorry about that. United Nations been in has been involved with UFOs since the 70s. There was a meeting, secret meeting, and they were supposed to be investigating this. So United Nations is where they actually need to go to obtain information. They've had it since the 70s. There've been groups established for it, and United Nations definitely knows what's going on. If you guys just check WikiLeaks, you can just see the document there, and you could read it to where they actually discussed the meeting they had.
Yep. They already have a plan, right?
A plan for what?
For this whole shebang thing that's going to go off one of these days. They've already got a plan for it. I'm sure they do. They plan for everything. Probably doesn't include us, though.
Are you like a false flag?
Very well could be. That's what everyone keeps saying it. They keep mentioning it, Werner von Braun and stuff, man. There's a threat.
It really does look like that. We're going fucking false flag. It really does look like that.
Does it?
Yeah, it looks like it's more possible than it's ever been before. That's for sure.
Yes,
I'm still not sold on it.
Why?
At all, but
Why? What's telling you this?
The congressional hearings, getting Congress involved, getting parts of Congress involved, like the way that they are, and them really acting like at least they're diving into figuring out what's going on, trying to slowly assimilate. I think that's still possible. I still say this. I still think it's a big grift, but there's two things can be true. They're grifting, but they want disclosure too. They like aliens too. And so I still think both things are happening, and it's possible. That's the whole point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still, like I said, I'm still not sold, but I still think it's possible more than ever.
Yeah,
it
is. I'm still not sold. I second that.
But hold on a second. But what I mean, Rich, just to clarify, it's like if I believed 5% that was true, I'm at like 10% now. Like it's not like it's 5 to 50%, not a huge jump more. It's just we're a little closer.
Well, I really want to believe that that's what's going on too. What's that, Sacred? Sacred teachings. What'd you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking it. You're good now. You said something about Llewellyn.
I was gonna. Yeah, I mean, look who brought the threat narrative in. Llewellyn Elizondo. What is he? What do they call him again? He's not a
counterintelligence.
Counterintelligence. Yeah, pretty much you could call it disinformation agent, but yeah, he's counterintelligence, and he's the one who brought it in he's the one who brought the threat narrative in. They keep bringing up the threat narrative. It's a threat to our airspace, and they brought up the fact that UAPs have murdered people. They brought up the fact that people have been killed. So obviously the false flag narrative is pretty high up there with the theories, for me at least, because they keep bringing up the threat. They mention people getting killed and hurt, and you know what I mean. And they say they fly in our airspace without impunity. I think they're gearing up for a false flag. They got the Space Force. And, the false flag theory's been here for a while, too. It's been here ever since, since the 90s, I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they still have to prove it, Rich. I mean, at the end of the day, even if they want to do a false flag, people have to believe it. So, I mean, you're gonna have to bring out proof, and this could be, what they're doing, why they're bringing these guys in, and why Lou and the whole crew is kind of coming around to do this. So you have to prove it. It's like telling somebody, hey, I got a gun, I'll shoot you. I mean, they don't really believe until you see the gun, right? It's a different story when you see the gun. So
it's scary because it's scary for me is because they're bringing the narrative in that these beings could be multidimensional. That's worse. If it's a false flag, it's worse for them being interdimensional than actually being physical from a different planet. Because then they could just poof up out of nowhere and just annihilate a city and their claim is that they're interdimensional and they can't be, they can't be attacked. They're just immune to any type of weaponry just because they're non-physical. You know what I mean?
You know what that reminds me of, man? That movie, man, where the aliens come down to the planet and the people are trapped in the Russian bar, and there's the aliens that they phase through energy and stuff, man. That they got like they're energy beings or something, and they can walk through walls. And the only thing they do, they can't see through glass or something, I guess, for some reason.
I don't believe in a kind of a concept of multi-dimensional kind of things like that. I believe in multi things and different kind of domains. And our planet Earth is under a domain. So a domain of someone or something super intelligent that our government can't deal with that. It's you're under a domain there. It's your government is ruling. Okay, you're humans and things. Okay, you have to play there at right, left, and things. But you can't answer to those things that you are under the domain of. That's why the multi-dimensional things come. That if you're on the domain, you can go everywhere you want, and collecting plants here, collecting this there, collecting a human here. You are under their domain. That's quite something. That the multi-dimensional thing, it's not like a flash thing where you're vibrating and you can move through walls and floors and things like that. I don't believe that.
Like the Flash.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think, Greg, about them doing a false flag?
I think you said something interesting. You said you don't really believe it till you see the gun, but the only problem with that, when you see the gun, it's already too late. So that's the problem I think that we're going to have there.
Good point.
The false flag, yeah. I mean, my mind, I think it's there, but the percentage I think is there goes up and down. But I just like I said, I think most people aren't even interested in this topic, so they wouldn't even have no idea what a false flag would even look like. So I think they're pretty comfortable in the fact that they could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
And we got away with
100%
9/11.
they'll get away with it.
9/11 classic.
They also have the perfect opportunity.
The buildings evaporated before they hit the ground, man. I think that was a scalar weapon.
Right. You talking about 9/11?
Oh, YouTube's gonna love that.
Hey, I know about that spire just disintegrating before it hit the ground, man. That ain't no joke. Yeah, it just disintegrated into dust before it even fell over. And I was looking for those telltale signs with the Lahaina Maui fires. I didn't see any. I think that was just really a natural weather event. Anybody want to think otherwise? Was it a direct energy weapon that went over Maui?
God, I wish I knew more about the weather like that. I don't know. It's a lot of destruction, so it's always going to make you think, wow, we haven't seen that kind of destruction there before, right? You're always going to wonder, but probably not. I mean, somebody have to prove to me why they'd want to burn that island up. I mean,
Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
They shot out that weapon in Antarctica and it misfired and caused that big earthquake in New Zealand or something, Christchurch. Was that a story? Yeah, that was a story.
Does anybody know what's out there? Like what caught on fire in Maui? Was there any scientific buildings? Was there any governmental stuff there? I mean, anything that got hit?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Was it more like residential buildings? Was there anything governmental, scientific, anything that burnt down specifically?
It's a resort. It's a resort place. I went there for my honeymoon. It's old. 250 homes, businesses, and buildings were burned.
Okay.
Destroyed. Nothing of any military value there. Nothing like that.
So somebody didn't get the room service. They they set it on fire.
It had to have been, man. I would have burned the place down at that.
Oh,
I think
God, Rich. God.
Mary Greenlee was saying earlier they upped it to like 1,700 residences and businesses, and they said there's probably over 100 people missing easily. So
wow,
it's gonna be a while. They cut off the water to the island today.
You know what I think they should do? I think they should send a couple cruise ships out there. You have beds, you have food, you have hospitals, you have everything. To me, just get a
some
couple
of that
cruise
big
ships.
Navy
It's like
hospital
boom,
boat that's
everything
sitting
at
in
once.
Virginia.
Yeah,
that Navy hospital boat that's sitting in San Diego. Ship that to Hawaii, man.
Good point.
So here's a beam that was captured at the beginning of the fire. This was seen right at the very beginning. Apparently, that's supposed to be real. I'm not sure if it is. I don't know.
Ah, this is so fake. Come on.
Hey, Bob, tell me why it's fake.
True.
Exactly. It's too good to be true.
Thinking, you know, I mean, fake.
That guy was there at the right time. Are you kidding me? That's what started.
Image.
I was thinking about the concept of the box from Views, a guy who's been chatting. He's a friend of mine in the chat. And you remind me the box concept. That concept is interesting, man. It's about those birds and the box. And you have this mother bird who was able to fly and like filling up that place, that box with everything that those birds can grow up and fly. And at the end of the video, you see those birds one by one leaving the box, able to fly. There is something super simple about that. It's called nature, and I believe it might have to be related with us human and that box. It was right there in front of us in that video. Simple, but yeah, you need to decode some little thing.
As you know, GoFund does get some love during the show. Jeanette Angel with the £5, £5 super sticker. Thank you very much. What are you saying there, Hollywood? Oh, he's saying okay for that. I didn't realize you were doing it. Thank you very much.
Over here, so my finger's going right down to her name, Jeanette. There.
Careful. Yeah. Your finger went right there. Good job. Yeah. It did. It went right into Jeanette. Perfect. I mean, right over Jeanette. Right at Jeanette. That sounded funny, and it was meant to be that way. Thank you, Jeanette. It's a super sticker. Then Dan Foley sends $2 on PayPal. Sorry to interrupt the show, guys, but you know me. I have to do it. And then Jeanette sends $12.16 on PayPal. Mucho gusto, double generoso. And $25 from David Wilcox on PayPal as well. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate that. And I believe...
Get a better rate on that. You said, right, Rich? They would take 1.5, not 20.
1.5%. That's it. Yeah. Instead of 40. But that's okay, man. It's awesome. Thank you very much for the love. It's much needed. And I never mentioned it at the beginning of the show. We are supported by you guys. You know, PayPal. What is it? Super Chat, Super Sticker, PayPal, Cash App. All the links are in the show description. All right, let's get back to work. So you think that beam I showed you was bullshit? I know it probably was. It was too good to be true.
Too good to be true, man.
It looks like
nuclear.
It looks like the hammer of Dawn weapon from Gears of War. If anybody played that video game back in the day, used to point to an area and a big beam satellite would come down. It looks exactly like Hammer of Dawn. It's kind of
that's got to be it. Then.
Yeah, it looks just like it.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
Some gamer shot or something.
Some Gears of War fan made that one for sure. Absolutely.
Video. They got good games now.
Oh my God. I love video games. I just wish I had time to play them.
Yeah, same, Richie. Fuck, I had no time.
And I wish I had somebody to play with that is good at playing. You get together with people and they're like, "Hey, hold on." All right, they just don't know what they're doing. It's frustrating. All right, I've been playing this game for 5 years. I'm like, well, why did you go there? I mean, who goes there? All right, so video games, Matrix, got it. Everything's turning into a false flag alien invasion. What a great segue into the next thing we're going to talk about here. Treason. Isn't this treason? I showed you guys what treason was yesterday. Treason is when people are lying about telling us the truth about the government. David Grusch did not commit treason, although it is a form of treason, I believe, but it really wasn't. I don't know. Do you think that they're going against everything they swore an oath to protect?
No, man, Rich, where is the treason in there? Honestly,
dude,
this guy's
no proof. There's no proof.
Yeah, but we're only on the first step of the whole game. This is
There's
just
no
the
truth
first
either way right now. There's no truth either way. So you can't prosecute somebody on just a, you don't know. 50-50 chance. It doesn't work like that.
It's not treason when a person leaks information that shines light on the workings of the government that the public has the right to know. So who is he to think that we have a right to know when they thought we didn't have a right to know? So where's the fine line between that?
My mama died a few years ago, man. That's the only one who told me right from wrong, Not some guy in Washington.
Right. Thank
Hollywood,
you.
you know about Stephen Green Street?
Yeah.
You know
What
his
about him?
position concerning all of this? Because
His
I'm bringing a point to you, Richie, because this guy is saying that those witnesses missing, Corbell and George Knapp was part of those witnesses, supposedly.
Yes.
Can you fucking believe this shit?
And they were also privy to skiff hearings.
Yeah, look, honestly, if I see Corbell and George, of course they said, no, we don't want to be a witness. Of course you don't want to be a witness, you stupid. Anyways, I'm gonna be calm now.
Free Martini wants you to
But I felt that Stephen Greenstreet got a point there. I mean, if he's right, if he's correct there, I mean, the big comedy there. Wish. I don't want this to be real. I don't want those people, those two clowns bring. Anyway, just the fact they were behind David Grusch on that thing was beyond me. The first thing I said, why those guys are behind him? We were live. You remember that, Richie? I said that.
Yeah.
Why are those guys behind him? And you said he's fucking doing yoga. I remember.
Has anybody asked themselves why
Sitting
he
there
still
like
have
this.
a clearance?
I tried to ask that question the other night in Greenwald Space, and they shut me off, man. So I don't know. It's weird.
That how can he still have a record and still have a clearance of what he says he did and have the preview to all those high intelligence officials?
No one's answered it. No one's answered it. The only thing that I've heard, Greg, is that they're trying to say Jay Stratton would be the one that would be in control of that, and then they'd let him go on it, and that that it's his buddy. I agree with you, man. He should have lost his clearance over it. Whether or not I think it affects him as a witness or not, the rules are he's going to lose his clearance over that, and we don't know why.
Who's this? Who's going to lose his clearance?
Walker Ranch.
Well, why didn't Greg is saying why didn't Grusch lose the clearance in 2014? I'm saying the same thing. I don't understand how you can't. Even if the statements he's drunk, blah blah blah, you can't make statements like that, man. They're gonna rip your clearance.
The only thing I can think of that makes sense to me right now is that they knew he was a hurt puppy, and they're like, listen, if you do this, then we'll keep you on the inside with us, just right over here. So that's the only thing I can think of right now.
And a hurt puppy is a puppy that's holding in its feelings, and eventually you'll have to let them out with a bite, a growl, a snarl, or an attack. And David Grusch is like a ticking time bomb. He could be.
Oh man, a ticking time bomb. This is well put.
Well, think about all the stress he's going through, and if he's not feeling it right now, then he's just not human.
We'll never know. He'll just disappear like Lou. We'll never know if they'll keep it quiet if he does.
Oh yeah, that's true. They'll just put him away in the back.
We'll never see him again. Then we know that probably that's what happened.
I still don't think he's gonna get off on any of this, guys. I still think Congress still has to answer to his accusations. They're gonna either have to come back and say we can't figure it out, we can't reach deep enough, and at that point Congress is never gonna help us. What are we doing here? Or they're gonna say he's a liar, and then he just buried himself, and probably a lot of ufology along with him, because a lot of people are just gonna lose hope over it. But no, we're gonna know. That's the whole thing with this PTSD thing is that I'm not really worried about it because we're gonna know. They're gonna come out and say whether or not. I agree with you, Sacred. It's irrelevant. It's not going to change the fact that he's already said it. It's already there. They're already looking into it. So if the videos come out, what are you going to say? Well, because he had PTSD, the video's not real that we're looking at on the screen. No, it doesn't work that way. So we're already. They should have did this before the hearings. If he wasn't even going to go or something, you could have got away with it. But damage is done when it comes to that.
But I don't know if the information was leaked because it was public information, but I don't know. It's a form of a leak.
Yeah, but they should have just left it in the interview, Rich. Why didn't they just leave the part in the interview where he talks about the PTSD? It's kind of like,
right.
You can't say anything bad about me. I already said it all. It's that same thing from 8 Mile, Eminem in that movie. It's just like, why hide it? Because now when they do this, especially if you think they're going to bring this up, if you think this is something that's targetable, which is why Colehart said they even brought it up and talked to him about it, well then put it out so they can't drag him through the mud with it later. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot by hiding it? Now it just looks like you're hiding the cheating homework.
Okay, I have a question for Ice Cream Shots, man.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, listen to me close. How do you feel about this character, the dark journalist? It's like there is this UFO field and there is this guy. the dark journalist on some other sphere somewhere that knows everything. Everything is about CIA, and the CIA is controlling everything. They're controlling David Grusch, and they're controlling those liars, and it's the dark journalist. How do you feel about this guy, dude?
I've heard of him. I've never watched his shows. Rich has mentioned stuff on him. Other shows have mentioned stuff on him. I've never really got too involved because from what I've heard, and I could be wrong, I don't want to say too much. That's something I don't know about, but it seems like he's really on that ultra kind of side of it that you're already bringing up. So I don't know. I just haven't had there's so many channels, man. You know, there's so much content to go through. You can't get everybody. But I've heard some interesting things from him. You know, hate to disappoint. The answer is probably not too great, but you know,
I'm sure the Central Intelligence Agency involved in that.
I've heard him. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Actually, check this out. Watch, they're talking about Grusch right now on Dark Journalist. Take a listen. It's live.
Kind of thrives on this weirdness, and there's a kind of a gross feeling.
He said the CIA.
Yeah, you get this girl.
The things that they run. There are vibes like that around 9/11. The JFK assassination, the financial coup d'etat. There's this thing that is very much a signature of them, but it's in this expose. So I'm telling you that in advance because it gets pretty dicey. So last week I put forward the proposition, me and my shadow. That's his handler, and that's the architect of the Patriot Act and the architect of the Department of Homeland Security with Dick Cheney. Okay, that's where we're coming from here. Nothing to do with UFO disclosure, absolute deep state territory. So, you know, handled. Okay, we started there. Now, when they did the op and they came forward and did the whole thing, it was pushed around the UFO threat aspect and him saying, oh, I have all this information in the skiff I can give you, and them pretending like, you know, oh, I can't believe it. You know, Tim Burchett being out there, the congressional leader of the hearings. It's weird they didn't even let him lead the hearings. They pulled him and Luna the night before, interestingly enough. But what happened, and I think it's very interesting, is that he laid out the red carpet, and
I mean,
the two pilots that they had giving testimony, Ryan Graves.
All right, it's not much. I don't want to keep playing his live show.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. The first words I heard him say, or acronym, was CIA involvement. Yeah, he goes on that route, but I like him.
Character. He's an interesting character in this field.
And he's very
hard. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything about his hair or Tony Stark, man. That ain't fair. I'm sorry.
No, Bob, I think that, you know, there's I just don't think, I'm not sold yet that the CIA and a lot of these other three-letter agencies are super behind a lot of people like Grusch. I still think that that's Bigelow and OSAP, and that's this rogue crew that's kind of left all of that, and they're doing their own thing. People like Kirkpatrick, he's like proof to me that the government, they're not trying to tell us anything. They're trying to stop a lot of this stuff. So I don't think so. I think there's a war that's being waged, and there's a couple different teams that are involved. It's not all.
I believe that Stephen Greer, when he's talking about that government inside the government, he's talking right on about the CIA, but he can't just like nail it right there in front of the camera. That's right on. So, and that's CIA. That's a joke I made, but could really be like in a fantasy kind mode. Cobra. It's like they like the reflection of the G.I. Joe. They have the same technology, same knowledge, but challenging each other for some kind of knowledge. So yeah, I see the CIA like Cobra on City. Anyway,
guys, I have a video here. I want to play it. I mean, we could talk about this forever. I mean, we're beating a dead horse now at this time, I think. You know, there's not much more we can say. There's a sacred teaching.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Let me bring you guys back into this way because I have a nice setup. But check this out. I want to play this video. I want you to listen to it. It says here it covers the Congressional UFO hearings of the 60s. James McDonald, Edward Condon, Carl Sagan, AAAS, the NAS, and the close of Project Blue Book. It attempts to demonstrate the mechanisms by which the American scientific community came to abandon the the subject of UFOs. So let's see what they talk about. I have not watched this. This was sent to me. So let's take a look just for historical value.
Village of Dexter. Received a call from the Sheriff's Department stated that an unidentified object had been sighted out off McGinnis Road at Frank Manor Farm.
Well, we got to the Frank Manor Farm and he met Mr. Manners. He took us around to the side porch, which overlooks the swamp, where Officer Lee and I got out the binoculars and looked down to the swamp. We saw this object down in the swamp.
The object looked like a pair of headlights, except it was spread farther out.
The deputies went off to the east. Officer Lee and I went to the west, searching around. We came to the high ridge. We came up on this high ridge and we played our flashlight down where the object was.
Apparently it seen your lights, the flashlight, and it went off just like that.
At that point, we heard this sound, this like electronic sound take off, and it sounded like it shot up to the air.
Oh, the top of the house sounded like you'd been in a big tunnel and shot a high-powered rifle off the scene of that bullet to a terrific speed. Real high frequency sound.
Following a wave of UFO reports in Michigan in 1966, Project Blue Book scientific advisor Dr. J. Allen Hynek was called upon to investigate the sightings and calm the public. Dr. Hynek was unable to come up with an explanation for the sightings. With no time to spare, Dr. Hynek would come up with an explanation that would live in infamy.
That I emphasize in conclusion that I cannot prove in a court of law that marsh gas is the full explanation of these sightings. But it does appear to me extremely likely.
The marsh gas explanation angered many in the area.
They were seeing disc-shaped objects, several disc-shaped objects flying.
All right, so, I thought it was going to go into congressional hearings because that's what it said in the description. I like this guy real quick. I want to see this guy's body language.
He look like Robert Bourassa.
Huh?
He look like Robert Bourassa. Anyway, sorry.
I thought Ed Gein.
It's not playing for some reason. Something happened. Yeah. Anyway, it's the same old things. Nothing's changed. Swamp gas and all that. But yeah, it's not playing anymore for some reason. It stopped. It won't let me play it. Yeah. Well, that was a good 2 seconds. I'll never get back. 2 minutes. But
yeah,
it's funny.
Tidbit, Rich. That actually happened just east of where I live here in Michigan, man.
I'm in Michigan too, Hollywood.
Next county over that happened when I was a kid. Yep.
You remember it?
Well, I remember it was in the newspaper. I remember that. My mom showed me the newspaper because, I was a little boy and UFOs.
Oh.
That was the thing.
Your parents, they see it?
Yeah, my mom seen it in the newspaper. She showed it to me. I just barely knew how to read, but I could see the UFO, and then they had a picture, swamp gas or something stupid, black and white.
Well, if we were at the beginning of disclosure, would anybody do anything differently?
Night, Richie.
Huh?
I said night, Richie.
Are you leaving? All right, Bob's gone. Anybody can throw in what they want to say, but would you do things a little differently than the way it's being done now? And what would you do? Anybody?
What do you mean? Like, would I do disclosure differently, or would it's my day-to-day change?
No, I didn't explain it. But what I mean is the way the government's doing this disclosure process, whatever you want to call it, with whistleblowers that we've already heard, and things that nobody can prove and no evidence. What would you do differently if you were the government and wanting to do some sort of disclosure thing? Or maybe, because I know this isn't disclosure, but what would you do differently?
Roswell, 1947, I would have said what it was. I would have been truthful right then and there.
Oh, wow. That would have changed everything. That would change the trajectory we would be on, I think.
I think I would go ahead and admit, who the actual pilots are, But as far as the technology, I agree that they would have to keep it under their wing, because who wants Ted next door in the shed with this kind of shit? Who knows what he's going to come up with, right? You can't have that dude just messing around with this kind of energy. So I can understand that whole part of it. But as far as the people in the craft, I think that they could bring that forward, at least, at the very least.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, at least tell us who they are, or at least what they know of who they are, and if we have a down craft, because they don't have to give us the tech right away. I mean, when they made the nuke, I mean, it's not like they handed it out, at your local store, how to make it and the instructions and everything. So
right,
I mean,
it technology. They stole it from Tesla and what's that Brown guy, T.T. Brown, all them guys back in the 20s and 30s. They had all this stuff figured out a long time ago, man. A long time ago. It's fact, man.
But you know who one of the first people in Tesla's room was, right, when he died?
Yeah, John Trump.
What's their name? Vassar Bush or somebody from the Bush clan?
No, it was
H.W.'s dad.
It was Jonathan Trump.
H.W.'s dad.
Donald Trump's dad.
Back then. Yep, the head of the FBI. The Bushes have been in this all along, man.
Oh, wow. Well, he's the creator of the CIA.
Right.
George Bush Sr.
It's going to take them a long time to get all of this out and to get technology even in a form where they could get it out to other countries or the public. So they've wasted kind of a lot of time. I agree, Sacred. I think they should have, at the very start, Roswell would have been great, and they could have assimilated people from the start, but they're worried. They're worried about how the public is going to freak out, and I still think that there is a portion that probably would, but I don't see any possible way to do this besides ripping the Band-Aid. There's no easy way to do it. At some point, there's going to be one day there's no aliens, next day here's the photo, because people want evidence of video, pictures at the very least. We're such a visual society nowadays. People don't want to hear stories anymore. They want to see what's going on, and they're still going to be pretty skeptical with that. So they're going to have to rip the Band-Aid off.
Been being initiated for the past 50 years by Hollywood, man. They've been preparing us, Hollywood, man.
Right.
You
Hollywood. Could say that.
You could.
All these stories are probably true, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
You could, but I mean, when you go to the Middle East and tell them that their religion might not be the correct religion, I don't think the Alien movie is going to change how they freak out about that. So, I mean, they're fighting holy wars over there of a lot of this stuff for a long time. There's a lot of history there, and you're talking about just putting that on its head, and it's a tough gig, but I don't see how they're going to get around it other than just ripping the Band-Aid and seeing what happens.
It is, what's up, everybody? Derek Kennedy, how you doing? Tyler Sawyer, Sapphire, Jason. It's like 4 Jasons in here. I wish that what they would have done was something similar. Yeah, you start off with the beginning, and the beginning for us would be modern day ufology, which is start with Roswell. That's a great idea. Everybody knows Roswell.
Not to shoot microwave beams at UFOs, man. That'd be the first thing. I think they did that on purpose because UFOs were hanging around during the tests. They decided to try out a new microwave.
And it worked.
In the desert and shot a UFO down. Maybe.
I don't know, man. It's just very convenient for that to happen. Just like they said, like Greer said, when we started doing the nuclear testing, we interrupted other dimensions and started breaking down the fabric of those. I'm like, come on, really? And they supposedly
ripple throughout the cosmos, man. That's that spark there, that atomic ignition, that puts out all kinds of crazy radio waves, man.
I can't imagine
radiation.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's awful, but thousands. They've how many times have we done that? Thousands of times, and so far no aliens are falling out of the sky, no ships are crashing anywhere on Earth.
Suddenly they stopped doing above ground testing and stuff. They started doing underground testing. I can't remember, probably in the 50s or 60s.
Right.
They started doing underground atomic testing. So the aliens, you got to shield that stuff better when you shoot them off, man. You're killing us out here. I think that's why they went underground.
Yeah, but dimensions, if there really are multiple dimensions, then they intertwine with this dimension. Don't you think? Doesn't matter where you shoot it off, it's going to make a a problem for the other dimensions. It's flawed. It doesn't make sense. So then I heard.
It's just kind of a weird out there thing I thought about, but
No, very, very good. I enjoy it. No, that was smart. It's a good way. Maybe that's why they did it underground, because the UFOs came through, and then I thought for sure they stopped using nuclear shit. They were just exploding the bombs without the toxins.
No, you can see it on seismic charts from back in the 50s and 60s and stuff when they were testing them underground. They list them as like a gravel pit explosion or something.
Yeah.
They only register like 1 or 2 on the Richter scale or something, but a lot of those they just write them off and stuff as demolition quarry work or something. But they're actually probably testing nukes underground still.
Underwater? Was it underground or was it underwater or was it both?
Probably both.
Was
both.
I would say both probably. And I don't
know
if
was both.
If that'd be enough to shield it from the aliens or not, but just conjecture.
Yeah, so let's worry about the dimensions that we can't prove exist, and why don't we just screw up the oceans and our land? Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's possible they think something's there, and it's possible that there could have been something underwater and something in the sky, and maybe they shot down enough in the sky and said, well, okay, we learned about these guys. Who's underwater? Let's go use this down there because these guys out. So let's go see what group is under the water. I think the under the water thing is the most convincing thing for me. That makes a lot of sense that you would go there. They know we don't go down there a lot, but
there's more interaction with the Navy than the Air Force. There's interaction with the Air Force, but mostly the Navy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we our sonar and stuff is good. Like we're getting to where we can map these areas, but we still can't really get down to a lot of places to really do much that we want. I mean, if I was hiding here, that's 100% where I would go. I wouldn't go to Antarctica. I mean, Antarctica, you can still get there by plane, walk around. I mean, it's dangerous, but I wouldn't go there. I'd go where I could live and have the least amount of chance to be discovered and have some cover.
3D LiDAR, man. That's what we need, man. Take that 3D LiDAR out on some boats, man. We map that ocean real fast, man.
I'm sure they've tried. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're looking around. Why not?
LiDAR,
I mean,
it catches amazing stuff, man.
All right, so
it probably hurt a lot of dolphins and whales, so maybe that's not a good idea after all. I didn't think that through. Oh, it's light though. It's not sound. It's light. Sorry.
That's all right. I put the poll up and just completed it. 147 votes. Usually we have about 180. When do you think undeniable evidence will be shown to the public? For example, videos, pics, medals. You guys said the next hearing at 11%. 6 months from now, 12%. 18 months or longer, 68%. 12 months at 7%. So thank you for voting on that. You can take a look at the poll we took in the chat room, but that's it. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add to what happened this week? Oh, wait. What is this? From Bob McHatchett. He said this earlier. The soft disclosure videos of, Michael Salas on his YouTube channel. Anybody aware of this? I'm going to look it up. Are you guys familiar with this?
No, the name Michael Salas, that sounds familiar for whatever reason, but I don't know about him. No,
I think he means Michael Salla, right?
Isn't that the guy who hangs out with the Cousin Brothers?
Yeah, it's Salla, Salla.
Yeah, I think he was the guy that hung out with the Cousin Brothers, and
he is
the old guy. No, never remember his name.
That's the guy. Here it is. 14 hours ago. Major UFO disclosure coming in the United States and worldwide in the closing months of 2023. Yeah, that's all right. That guy's been saying that every year, so it's funny. But he says, Bob McHatchett said he showed some footage on there. I don't know. I'm going to take a look real quick here and scan the channel or scan that last show he did. No, it's not a show. Holy shit. Hold on. Here it is. I accidentally clicked
just an audio podcast.
All right, let's see. This doesn't show anything on the last video within 14 hours. I'm not going to bother with that today. Thanks, Bob. I'll take a look at it, man, and we'll get back to it. And I thank Jeanette for the $5 super sticker, £5, £5 a little bit ago. Oh, and Diane Boss, the boss of Goof On, with the $3 super sticker as well. Mucho gusto, generoso, Diane Boss. Thank you, Diane. Yeah. Anybody want to add anything before we close up shop for the night?
No, I don't think so, man. We've covered a lot tonight, huh?
We did, and very quickly, I might add, in an hour and 29 minutes, or an hour and 20.
Well, just to let you guys know, I'm a plethora of invaluable non-information, man. I know tons of stuff that mean nothing, so.
I'm the same as you.
A lot of fill-in.
That's who I am. That's how I think I am. I know of a little bit about everything and nothing about everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we'll create truth from speculation until we can prove the speculation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what's going on, though. If you really look at the way this is being shown to us, it's a joke. We've heard from people
in a format like this where you can interact with people and stuff too. Bounce things off the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll let you guys go, and then I'll do my goodbyes. Thank you, Ice Cream Shots. I appreciate you. Anywhere anybody can see you on the internet?
Yeah, the procrastination is finally over. I've got a YouTube channel. It's called Terrestrial Material. It's a YouTube show that I've started. It's going to be UFOs. We started it last Saturday. We already have an episode up, but it's going to be UFOs for about an hour or so, and then gaming and MMA for probably a half hour. And I have a co-host. So we started it, Richie. Finally, we did.
I just subscribed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Man, I'll put the link to the show, to your channel, in the description.
You're cool, man. You don't have to, but you're cool. I appreciate it.
I always do. That's why I ask.
I know. But I'm around here because I like talking to you guys, man, and it's a lot of fun, and I just want to continue, and I've got a lot of things I got to say. So, yeah, I mean, it was time. It's time.
All right, I put the link in the chat. Thank you for hanging out again. Your information of wealth is much deeper than mine, and I appreciate you. I do. Thank you.
I appreciate you having me on, man. It's always been a blast, dude. I really appreciate it. But I'm not going anywhere. If you're on Fridays with this, I'm gonna be right here. But we're looking at Saturdays. Maybe we might move to Thursday. But we're just trying to find a spot where me and him can both get on for time wise for him.
And I tell you, if it's convenient, we could help you out, link you up, whatever you need, man. Just let me know if you need anything. I'm very happy to help.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
Yeah, and I'll put the link in the show description, not just in the chat, in the description. So,
thank you.
Yeah, and Sacred Teachings. Thank you very much. Anywhere we can find you here on the internet. Sacred Teaching.
Sacred, you can just YouTube things. I got some. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you guys will just check me out on YouTube, Sacred Teachings. You just type that in. You like spiritual topics. You're into the occult, stuff like that. You could look me up and check out my videos there.
And it's just Sacred Teachings on YouTube, right? Guess so. Well, how about you? Hollywood, anywhere we can find you?
Not really, man. I usually stay here in the back cave, man, surrounded by monitors, scanning the news, man, 24/7.
I admire that. I actually do. Thanks for contributing tonight. Very good wealth of knowledge. I appreciate you, too. Thank you.
Glad to help out, man. Glad to help out.
You did.
I've been
Thank
following
you.
this stuff for decades, man. Decades.
Well, we should see you next weekend. And Thank you, Ice Cream. Thank you, Hollywood, a.k.a. Hard Luck. Guys, thank you very much. And you know what I wanted to say before we shoot out of here, I try to do a little Jerry Springer type thing before we go, a little wrap up. I'm all for disclosure. I'm all for what we've been seeing. I like that we have the whistleblowers coming out and giving their testimony under sworn statements. However, everybody lies, under oath even. Didn't OJ? Yeah, I thought he did. So it doesn't hold a lot of water for me that these guys are swearing on Bibles, going to the Congress and giving their testimony. We've heard the last three guys, Grusch just this year, but the other two, Fraves and Graver, we've heard them 6 years ago. So I think it was a waste of time. However, they did buy time because there will be another congressional hearing on UFOs in September, date not announced yet, but apparently there's going to be more stories. And how slow do we really need to go to get the general population acclimated to the idea that aliens are in captivity or in a holding cell dead with the UFOs they flew? If it's true, tell us where. And if you dare, show us. Show us something. That's all we want. But I don't know how long it's going to take. None of us do. But according to rumors that are circulating all over the internet, if something in the way of a disclosure, I mean, there's only one disclosure. You can't be partially pregnant. You're either fully pregnant or you're not, or you either have disclosure or you don't. So if disclosure is about to happen, everybody's going to freak out. They haven't shown us anything. They haven't explained anything. We don't know where they come from. We don't know what they come from. We don't know if they come from. What dimension are they from? Are they in a dimension? Are they real, pliable creatures? We don't know. Apparently they are, because they're in a holding cell somewhere underground. It would be nice to get the evidence before the disclosure happens. But that, for some reason, just isn't happening. And with those sequence of events missing, and disclosure is supposed to be 4 months away or less, people will freak out. The information wasn't disseminated long enough, properly, and it wasn't given out to the public in masses. So it's not disclosure, folks. Sorry to say. If disclosure is real, we would have a lot more. We would have evidence, first of all. It would have been out already. Something would have had to have come out for us to be backing that there's aliens here. Some people are, just because people said it. But they know, even deep down, those who are accepting the story without any evidence know damn well you need evidence. They're just pushing their friends, their belief onto something that they want to happen. And they will support everything that comes their way. And that's what we have. We have people supporting the movement even without asking for evidence. And to them, that's enough. And that scares me. Because without evidence, it's just a story. And if it's just a story, and you're going to have this false flag alien invasion or disclosure event within the next 4 to 5 months, expect rioting, expect looting, expect people to act out. Because damn it, it hasn't been done yet. The disclosure, they're not doing it. This isn't disclosure. So that's my point. The point is, you need more, we need more, I need more, the world needs more. So let's hope they give us some more in September. We'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, 7 o'clock. We'll do it again. It'll be a good one tomorrow. I got a good one planned out. And we'll do what we always do. We'll start doing our truthology. Truthology for ufology. For you. For you. We got a long road ahead of us. I'm just glad you guys came along for the ride. We'll take you down the road to the truth. But in the meantime, enjoy the weekend. Be safe, be kind, and alien bless you. Alien bless you.
you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Control life.